forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm Carter. I make everything for the Boogeyman's Closet. It's just me doing it. So getting into Dinner Fashion Week, it really started with the House Collective. Shout out to Liz and Chelsea. Love them. But the past 2 years, so fall 2022 and spring 2023, I showed with them. So it was us three. We had 5 models apiece. And then after the spring 2023 show, I was like, I want to do my own thing. I want to do all Boogeyman on the runway, do my own thing for it. And I really started planning for this past show almost instantly whenever we finished the spring show. So it was really like 6 months of planning because it broke down into like coming up with a name for the show, ideas for it, the theme, getting all the models, makeup, videography, photography, and all that. So that was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff before I even started sewing and putting pieces together like that. And then starting out in October, because the show was November 14th, October 1st, that's when I started thrifting. That's when I started sewing and really putting pieces together. And I think I planned everything out perfectly to where I didn't have burnout from it. And I'm so happy with it because in the past, I always burn myself out because it's like I want to work as hard as I possibly can. But this year, I worked as hard as I could and I didn't burn myself out. And I'm really happy about that. And the show went perfect. There's not a thing I would change about it. There were things here and there where I'm like, well, that could have been better, pop, and all that. But that's everything, you know. And yeah, the show was perfect. I loved it. Loved how it came out. Yeah, so the models really came from, I wanted all the models to be my homies, and that's who they were. Models, makeup team, videography. Shout out to you, Johnny. It was really just all my homies because I realized that I'm now in a position where I can put other people on to what I'm doing. I can help their careers and their goals grow as I can grow mine as well. Because I've been put on from everybody in my life, and I was like, it's time for me to put my people on, you know. So all my models were just on homies. And as far as the name and kind of the overall theme came from, so I went through a lot of different names because I knew the song for the show instantly. It was Not All That Glitters Is Gold, but Still Damn Beautiful by Suicide Boys. That was the first song where I was like, that song pretty much laid out the entire show for me. I knew what the theme was going to be and everything like that. And the original theme was going to be Boogie 2K, so it was going to be my style mixed with Y2K. And I put some Y2K fits together, and they were disgusting. I hated them. They were not hot. Some people can pull it off, the Y2K. I couldn't figure it out. So what it kind of ended up being is Frostbite was the overall show name, and that kind of broke down into 3 different categories. So Frostbite was here, and the first song was Not All That Glitters Is Gold. And then the second song was A Little Trauma Can Be Illuminating, and the last song being Johnny Dang. And it broke down into Victorian Gothic, futuristic Gothic, and then Western Gothic. And then Frostbite being the overall theme of Gothic, because that's my style, you know, little goth, because it really was like all my style was broken down into different parts. I love the Victorian Gothic, the futuristic, like the style now, like the fucking, what the fuck is it called? It's like the Playboy Cardi, it's like opium type stuff, like the futuristic type stuff. I like a lot of that. And then mixed with the Western, with just being the Texas roots. I like that. So I tried to put all that together with the theme and then break it into 3 different parts of a cohesive show, you know, because if you were looking at it, you'd be like, wow, this is just all different themes of Gothic. But that's kind of how it broke down in my head for the different themes in there. Yeah, player. The show is crazy because the show was 8 minutes long, and that's what a lot of people saw. A lot of people saw me for the first time walk out on a runway with fucking space buns, a grill, eye makeup, and a cowboy hat, like a freak out there. But like I said, like I really planned this show for like 6 months. So something I did differently for this show is that I conceptualized and I drew everything beforehand. And the reason why I did that is because a lot of my pieces and the stuff that I make, I go into a thrift store, I find a bunch of what I like, I take it back, and then that's when I kind of start sorting through there. But with this show having 16 models, I was like, I don't want to just have mountains of clothes and just trash that I'm kind of sorting through. So I was like, I want to draw this up. I want to get specific about what I'm looking for and then find those pieces. Because a lot of it came through manifesting it as well. Because I was like, okay, if I think about something I'm looking for, then I draw what I'm looking for and I keep an eye out for it, I think the odds of me just finding it are better. And so I drew everything in this little thing, which I should have decorated now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to put a sticker on this later. But I'll just show you one of the pieces in here. So I drew all of these in, I want to say July and August. And as you can see, this is Bill Diver, and his came out exactly how it was supposed to. He looks exactly like this, little stash, all this jazz. And I'll show you a couple other pieces. I got Bill Diver, I got Skylar, which her fit ended up coming out nothing like this. So she had the bell bottoms, which I initially envisioned, but I ended up changing the top to this hoodie with my type of style on it. Josh almost fucking exactly how it came out to be. And this was just a alternate version of it, kind of. So like I said, like a lot of these came out exactly how I wanted it to. More than anything, this just gave me direction to what I was looking for. A lot of these drawings, so like for Bill Divers, for example, I equated a lot of this show to painting because that's the way it kind of made sense to me, and that's an easy way for it to make sense to other people as well. So picture it like this. The model is the wall. The blank pieces of clothing are the canvas that you put on the wall, and then I would paint on top of that. So paint on canvas on wall, and then customizing the clothes on the model. So my main goal in this was to get all of the base pieces together, and I did it. That was my main goal of this, was to get all the base pieces together and then from there customize. Because even if I had all the base pieces together, I could still put that on a runway and it still wouldn't look that bad, because I would hate to have like 6 amazing pieces and then 10 just like real mid ones. But I was happy with how everything came out. It was just a lot of planning overall. Yeah. My biggest takeaway is a lot of fucking work. It was a lot of work, a lot of money. It was all worth it overall. I was just telling the homies like right before this that like I had a moment right after the show of I was like, was this worth it? Was all this work worth it for 8 minutes? And I think that's just a very human thought to have after doing something big like that. And then now I've definitely come around to be like, this was all worth it. It was absolutely worth it. And one of my biggest takeaways from this is that I cannot do this without a team. Because I could have gotten the pieces together, I could have found people to model them and everything, but I wouldn't have had a runway. I wouldn't have had photographers, videographers, makeup artists, people to help out with hair. I wouldn't have had any of that without my team behind me. So, wow, it is the boogeyman's closet, and the boogeyman puts all this together. There's so much more that goes into this. That was a big takeaway that I had. And another takeaway is that, like, I just love this. I love doing these fashion shows because it's really an opportunity for me to show off my art and show off the things I love creating. I've realized something that I really love about making clothes and just fashion in general is that I can create something that makes somebody feel confident. And that's crazy. Like I can make a crazy jacket that somebody loves and it becomes their favorite thing. And when they wear it, they stand up a little straighter. They kind of push their shoulders back and they feel confident in that. And that's something I just love about it. That's something that I think this past show is something. This past show really showed me that I love making people feel confident, because there were a couple people who put on their fit, their energy changed. Like Cyrus put on his fit and he became a little fucking gremlin, bro. He started walking around like He had these crazy like space glasses on and everything. It was so cool.
Lately I've been feeling like I don't know who the fuck I am. Trying to figure out where the stage is and I'll be getting.
Well, I have to tell you all my plan for the next fashion show off camera, because I have a lot of it planned already. But for camera, this next year, I would love to do more collaborations with people, because there's a lot of people who do exactly what I'm doing. Just play with clothes, chop them up, sew stuff together. And I'd love to do a lot of collaborations. Off the top of my head, and your head, because you're wearing one of their hats, is I would love to work with Slove. They could do some screen printed stuff. I could chop and sew, something like that. I would love to work with Liz and Chelsea, which is working on a custom. I've had this idea for a long time of getting a pair of blank overalls. Doesn't really matter the color, but finding another designer and being like, hey, I'm going to get these overalls for 2 weeks. I'm going to go crazy on it, and then you get it for 2 weeks, and you go crazy on it. Maybe beforehand, too, we come up with a theme of, like, this is kind of what we're going for, and this is how we're going to work together on it. Because I would love to do that. I'd love collaborations, and this next year, I really want to make a new merch drop. I want to do like a monster truck shirt, but have it like a monster hearse and have it like Boogeyman themed. And the sponsors on the back are like House Collective, Prom, L3, which is my screen printing job. And just like a bunch of sponsors on the back. So like a classic racing shirt, but with my little spin on it, you know. But this next year, like, I got a lot planned for it, which I can't say too much about. I love surprises, and I love just like having stuff ready. But yeah, this next year is going to be a lot of work and a lot of just creativity. I want to be super creative this next year. I want to do a lot of stuff that I haven't done, because for the past 2 years, I feel like my style is just very skater gothic with Western in there. And I love that style, obviously, but I want to do something that's not necessarily that, just to see what I can create, you know. I proceed with a hollow up, cut my wounds and call it up. Watch me as I come apart. Pull up, and they wondering which sport I play. I say, but I want it, what you can't afford to say. I let somebody grab, but just like I say, I made the gang and I made the way, and I made the wave, and this is the stay. Yeah. These are a couple of my favorite pieces from the show. So this was a jacket that I just wore all the time. I thrifted this from ARC. It's a Dickies Eisenhower jacket. But what I did is I just took my sleeve design right here and I sewed it onto here. And same thing with the back. And this is one of my favorites just because, like, this is something that I wear every day. It's light. It's nice, you know. But something that I did not anticipate with this, and something I've learned, is that, like, my brain naturally goes towards certain shapes. So I really like spirals, I like triangles, and I like cow skulls. Cut to the cow skull. But whenever I first made this design, it had no intention of looking like a cow skull, but it kind of came out as one, you know, because it's got this kind of piece for the nose and the mouth, and this came out as horns. Something that is fucking nuts, which was not anticipated with this one, that when you put these together, it looks like a fucking cow skull with horns now. Dude, not anticipated. Like I said, I like its shapes and placement, because I love stuff here. This is like, having things here, this is a very like Western design, because a lot of pearl snaps, they come down to points right here, and they have designs on the shoulders. I just like the shoulders. And then it came out like this. It's fucking nuts. I loved it. But yeah, this is definitely the piece. This is a piece I wear every day. And then this was Mr. Bill Diver's jackets. Disregard. This is Bill Diver's jacket. So this was a lawman's jacket I found at the bins. If you see, Law Pro. I'm pretty sure a police officer wore this, which is kind of cool. And then what I did is I just found different patches and t-shirts I chopped up. It says, I've kidnapped myself. The shirt was corny. It said, I've kidnapped myself. Like, please return and you'll get $1 million. It was corny as fuck, but I thought this was kind of cool. Got the Marlboro on there, of course. And then got these on there. Had to throw my logo on there, you know. And then I got this on the back. So Hank Williams was a country singer in like the 60s, I think. It may have been earlier than that. But I wanted to take Hank Williams and turn him goth. So I turned him into Shank Williams, right? Kind of cool. And I